Facebook, and there is plenty of questions, and quite a few people are quite active. I decided to answer those questions on this live session, and yeah, we'll see how the things will go. So, thank you very much for being with me. This one is being recorded live, but it's gonna stay over there probably forever. So, welcome to see it later. If you happen to join live, ask your questions under this video, and maybe I will be able to answer them as well. But yeah, let's get to the group. Let's have a look what sort of the questions we've got over there. All about Australian Visa Migration Education Support Group. That's the group, and we have got 273,000 members over there. I think many, quite a lot. All right, so I have a question. If someone got one night invitation, how long at least their PT score should valid? Is it till grant or before? For 190, it's time of invitation criteria. So your English test must be valid at the date when you got invited. Time of invitation has got quite interesting meaning and quite interesting interpretation. According to Home Affairs, time of invitation is date of invitation. However, there was the recent ruling in the court that time of invitation is actually 60 days from the invitation and 60 days which are given to lodge the visa application. But that ruling was for the skills assessment, I think. So be careful with the English test and anything else which will be renewed during these 60 days. Home Affairs may or may not approve the renewed English test or skills assessment or whatever within the 60 days period of time. Generally speaking, PTE English test must be valid at the date of invitation. So it must be finalized, conducted in less than 3 years from the date of invitation. PTE is saying that their test is valid for 2 years. However, for Home Affairs is valid for 3 years. All right. So English test must be valid at the date of invitation. I received my 189 grant on 23rd of November 23. Congratulations. Engineering technology is 65 points. So see, it's possible to get the invitation with 65 points. But invited when? 5 years, 2018, yeah. Invite October 22 with 65 points, engineering technologist. So we are waiting with 189, whether there will be another round of invitations for 189. You might have heard about the Miss Claire O'Neill having this big speech in April that migration system in Australia is broken and she will fix everything. So far, she just introduced the ENS through the transition stream just for 2 years for any occupation. But yeah, we are waiting for the changes to the skilled visa system. We are waiting for some other changes which are probably coming. So congratulations for your visa grant. All the best. I just wanted your advice on this. Yeah, listen, there is absolutely no advice on this group, and let's make it clear everything which is being posted on this group, any comments, any answers, is just the opinion of the respective member of the group. There is absolutely no advice, okay? No consultation, nothing like that. It's just the opinion. You cannot rely on the information which is being posted with your own visa application. If you want advice, talk to the professional. If you want to talk to the professional, book the consultation. There is 7,000 migration agents in Australia. Some of them are really good. Some of them are not so good, politely speaking. Then there is 70 something, 18,000 lawyers in Australia. Some of them are saying that they are migration lawyers. Yeah, migration agent, you have had to study for at least 1 year, and you had to study migration law. The lawyers, if they have had just one subject about the migration, Probably you could be quite lucky, but some lawyers are really, really good with migration law. I found some which are not that good. It's like everywhere. There are some doctors who are good, doctors who are not that good. Essentially, if it's your life, consult with the professional. Go to one professional if you are happy with their advice, and if you trust them, yeah, fine. Go with their advice. Go with whatever they are saying. Use their assistance. If you are not satisfied, get the second opinion, get the third opinion. With free consultations, take it with the grain of salt. Some agents, some lawyers are providing free consultations, and it's only about selling their services. Some of them are giving some advice. We are also providing free consultations, but it's initial consultation to check the visa eligibility, right? Not to tell you how to process the visa, how to apply. That's we are doing on your behalf. And honestly, sometimes we are telling people one thing and they are doing totally other thing. I had a situation where I had a consultation. I told people what not to do, and then they happily said, "No, no, I don't need your assistance. I will do it by myself." And then they did exactly what I told them not to do, and came back to me. I got it refused. What did you do? This. What did I tell you? So honestly, spend a couple of dollars and get the proper advice. But yeah, currently waiting for 189, 190 invite for Western Australia ICT security occupation. Positive skills assessment, superior English. I also have almost 2 years of work experience in the field and wanted to know if I can change jobs. I'm thinking of taking on a cloud engineer role. Is less stressful, but I also don't want to risk anything. Continue staying with my current role or take the new one. I'm waiting for invite from Western Australia. Listen, if you rely only on the skilled visa on 189, 190, 491, whichever, it's absolutely not guaranteed. The rules are changing all of the time, and the states are reliant on the quotas which are being given to them from Home Affairs. And for this financial year, quotas are very, very, very low, and we are waiting what's going to happen in next couple of months, whether the quotas will be bigger, whether the point system will change. So if you are relying only on the skilled visa and you are waiting for invitation, you could be waiting for Godot. It might never happen. I have seen so many people, complaining, yeah, I've been told study in Australia, then after 3 years of doing my bachelor, I will get the post-study visa, then I will do the superior English, then I will do the professional year, I will get the points, and I will get the permanent residency skilled visa. It's the BS, all right. So some educational agents are just selling the courses for their own benefit, probably. And if you think that it will, the skilled visa, that you will definitely get the permanent residency after your study, you might be mistaken. All right. So there are pathways to permanent residency, but if you want to rely only on study points and on the skilled visa, you might not get there. Okay, and point systems are changing. The list of occupations are changing. Then there are unexpected things like COVID, which changed every freaking thing. So probably plan A, if you have got 2 years of the work experience, if you have got the employer who would be willing to sponsor you for the visa, that probably would be your plan A. Skilled visa, plan B. Talk to your employer if they would be willing to sponsor you for the visa. 485, if you have got 485, 2 years of the work experience, another 1 year of the work experience, ICT security occupation, I believe that's going to be on the MRT SSL. So potentially they can sponsor you for the ENS visa once you will have 3 years of the full-time skilled work experience. So ENS no brainer. You do not rely on any points, invitation from the state. If your employer is willing to go, you apply for it. They will apply for the nomination, you will apply for the visa a few months later. If everything is okay, you will get your permanent residency, you will get your ENS visa. Waiting for invitation. If you are waiting for invitation, you might be getting absolutely nowhere. There are so many people who have studied something, then got 485 for 2-3 years, have been waiting for invitation, working in something totally unrelated to their occupation. Then 3 years later, once their 485 was about to expire, they jumped back on the student visa. If you are in Queensland, you will will never be invited, at least under the current circumstances, for the skilled visa, because in Queensland you must have worked at least 30 hours per week in your occupation, which means that Queensland is not inviting students. So back on the student visa, you are with Queensland, waiting for invitation, which will never happen because you are on the student visa. So look, have a look on the state criteria, and the state's criteria are changing. Western Australia, yeah, waiting for 189, 190 invite from Western Australia. Which stream? Post-study or working in Western Australia? What are their priorities at the moment? I think in Western Australia, priority is construction at the moment. So, employer, talk to employer. What did I do? I clicked on something. Sorry, all right. Adding your partner to your existing student visa. Why not thinking me about my change of simple stance, relationship status from single to de facto? What kind of document do I need to add to that? Is registered relationship certificate and my partner's passport copy enough? No, it's not. Adding the spouse, partner, de facto to the existing visa application as the dependent, subsequent application, the registration is not enough. It's not exactly as you would be applying for the partner visa, but principles are the same. There are 4 pillars of the relationship which must be evidenced, and most of the time it must be for at least 12 months, but in some situations at least 6 months. And the registration of the relationship in some states are waiving this 6 or 12 months requirement for the cohabitation, for living together, being in the relationship, but you still must prove that your relationship is genuine. If your partner is in Australia on some other visa, yeah, it's quite straightforward. If you are living together, if you are having joint bank account, if you are, having family, friends who can confirm that you are in the relationship, happy days, all sweet or good. If your partner is overseas, then it could be more difficult. The 4 pillars of the relationship is the nature of the household. So that's if you are living together, financial aspects, if you are managing funds together, social aspects, that's the 3rd pillar. If your family and friends can confirm that you are in the relationship, and the 4th aspect, how do you see your future? So commitment. So 4 pillars for the partner visa. All 4 pillars must be evidenced. If you're applying for if you're adding your partner to your visa application as dependent, case officers don't have to take into considerations all 4 pillars. If you have got some weak evidence for one of those pillars, it could be fine. But yeah, if you just got in relationship with somebody who is overseas, then it's becoming tricky. Just the registration is not enough. You must prove that you are in the genuine relationship. All right. We do a lot of partner visas, and we did a lot of applications for the subsequent entrance, adding the partners and so on and so on. But usually there's the question, what is the long-term goal? Just adding your partner, or maybe your partner can apply for something else, and instead of partner adding to your application, you could be added to her or his application in next couple of months. So it's about the strategy. And interestingly, we are offering it's about 4 pillars of relationship, which needs to be evidenced, and we are offering free consultations for situations like that. For partner visa, go to https nowak.us.me/partner. I think that's the one. Control C, Control V. No, that's not the one. Partner visa. Yeah, that's the one. Partner visa. It's not going to be exactly with the partner visa, but once you go over there, you can book the time slot, and then you will get an email asking for some questions, give us the information, then we can discuss that in the details. What would be required, maybe not in the details, but essentially if we can assist, what we can do to get it over the board, how to get it sorted for you. Okay. So, registered relationship and passport copy is not enough. You need to provide more evidence that you are actually in a genuine relationship. Living together, joint finances, some statements from the family and friends. Sometimes I'm asking clients to provide 888 form, even for the other visa types than the partner visa, just because there are all of the relevant questions on those forms. 189 from the 23rd of November. That's the one. Congratulations. How long at least PT score should be valid? We already answered. Have you earned the previous recharge? That's the one! View insights. See. Where's the video? Probably somewhere there. Like 190 grand, and a few questions came to mind. What would be additional requirements if you get pregnant and plan to move to Australia before delivery? Yeah, if you move to Australia before delivery, happy days. Then once your child is born in Australia, child is becoming Australian citizen by the operation of law. You are just applying for the evidence of the citizenship for your kid. If your kid would be born overseas, it does not work like that. Then you will have to apply for the visa for your kid. Paternity benefits become available so if you were able to get work. Check on the Centrelink website. Max duration of travel outside Australia once first entry is done. For example, we make our first annual unlock for opportunity analysis will still being employed in our country, more just go back to home country, finance transactions, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, listen, travel facilities for 5 years. First entry, then you have got essentially 5 years to come to Australia and settle in Australia. If you will be, and there is a lot of people, especially in the Gulf countries, who got their permanent residency, came for 1 to 3 days just to activate their visa, then came back to make the money, and then 5 years later they are calling me, oh yeah, well listen, I still have got the job over here, I need another 2 years to move to Australia. And most of the time you can lose the permanent residency. If you are not living in Australia and you haven't spent the time in Australia, there is no way you can get the RRV. It's going to be most of the time refused. So usually my answer is, listen, come to Australia before the expiry of the travel facility of your permanent visa and stay some time in Australia. Then you can apply for the RRV. You will get it for another year. So potentially you can travel during that 1 year. But yeah, so you've got 5 years to get your stuff sorted and move to Australia. 5 years travel facility on the permanent visa, right? There's 5 year travel facility on your PR visa. It's quite important to settle in Australia. Let's say settle because edit. To settle in Australia, before end date of your travel facility, as you may simply lose your PR, and it's happening all the time. However, even if you will be now overseas and if you have had the permanent residency, you may be able still to regain the permanent residency RRV based on the fact that you have had your permanent residency earlier. Right. UK based currently in discussion with Australian business about possible employment. They are willing to fund sponsorship for my visa only, but not my wife and 2 kids. There is also no location package and offer. Can anybody tell me what visas my family will need to move them with me? And if anybody knows what the rough total costs are they likely to be for the move, not my wife and two kids. Yeah, you would have to tell fund sponsorship for my visa. So is it about paying for your visa? With the 482, there is sponsorship, nomination, and the visa application. If they are paying for the sponsorship and nomination, that's essentially on them. Then there is the visa fees for the visa application. If they are paying for the sponsorship nomination, yep, happy days. That's what they should pay for. And if they are paying for your visa application, geez, happy days. Quite often, the employers are not paying for the visa. So if they are paying for your visa, but not for your partner, not for your kid, just ask them if you can pay for your partner and your kid, and they might say, yeah, that's fine. If you'll pay for it, happy days. So they will pay for the sponsorship nomination, your visa application, but not your family's visa application. So just tell them that you will pay for the your family's visa application, and it should be all sweet or good. Are they not willing to pay for your family visas or not include them in nomination at all? Okay. Ask them if they're fine if you'd you'd pay for your family visas. And again, go to https nowak.us.me. If it's about employer-sponsored visas, we are also providing for free consultation about employer-sponsored visa. All right. So here's the question: they don't want to pay for the visas for your family, or they don't want to include them in the domination. If they don't want to include them in the domination, it's totally different story than if they don't want to pay for their visa application fees. No relocation package. Well, not so many employers are paying a relocation package. It's up to you. What are your goals? What is your thoughts about Australia? Also, what is the long-term plan? Just 2 years with your employer, or is there permanent residency on the table? Are they willing to sponsor you after the 2 years on 482? It looks like it's gonna be as it used to be 2017-18, I think, 457, 2 years, then ENS through the transition stream. Now it's going to be probably like that again. So yeah, ask them if the permanent residency is on the table. It's just 2 years for you, and that's it. What is your occupation? Would you be eligible for the skilled visa? Would you be eligible for the ENS visa? So ask all of those questions. Sponsor, yeah, we don't know what is the occupation. So yeah, book the consultation, and we'll have a chat. Probably we'll have a chat with you about the details and whether we can assist, how we can assist. All right. But yeah, any other visa, wife and two kids. It will be just wife under 35, working holiday visa, but you cannot get working holiday visa. It's becoming tricky with the kids. You cannot have the dependents on the working holiday visa. So visitor visa, but that's just for 3 months. Yeah, talk to the employer if it's about the money for the visa application, or they don't want to sponsor your family at all. And what is the long-term goal? Permanent residency or not? What is your occupation? What is your age? Book the consultation and we'll have a chat. Just looking for some advice on what visa to apply for. Working holiday, open my own business in the town I live in doing beauty, and wanted to apply for a skilled visa under makeup artist, so I was wondering for 95. Sponsoring myself through my own business. Thanks in advance and advice appreciated. Self-sponsorship many years ago, when with 457 visa it was quite doable, but at the moment self-sponsorship with 482 or 494, Listen, for 94, you would need to have at least 3 years of the work experience. And here is the question about your business. Is this just you as the sole trader, or are you running the business and deploying a couple of locals and you have got $1 or $2 million turnover? Then there could be a case about the 494. But yeah, skills assessment. Makeup artist, I think it's on 494 list only. You are not eligible for the 482. Self sponsorship. Hard case, okay? You would have to have quite sizable business and deploy a couple of locals to stand a chance of getting the 494 or 482 as the self-sponsored, as the owner of the business. Any other options, makeup artists, gonna be difficult, all right? But yeah. Working from home in Brunei, and I have just received an invitation to make a visit against one night in Victoria. Midst of preparing documents to lodge my 190 offshore on a separate note, my current work employer has expressed interest to sponsor me 400, waiting for my 190 visa outcome. Survey the following: can first lodge my 190 application and then prepare for 400. Oh. All right, so here is the thing. The state may withdraw the nomination anytime before the visa decision, right? And if they will withdraw the nomination, your visa will be simply speaking refused. If you will move to Perth while you are waiting for 190, if Victoria will not withdraw their nomination, you might be safe. But when you have applied for 190 with Victoria, you gave them the provided declaration that you will live in Victoria for at least 2 years after the visa grant. And in exchange for the declaration that you will live over there, they gave you the nomination. So if you will be living in Western Australia, you will be in the breach of that declaration. So it's a tricky situation. You can take the risk. You can go to Perth and apply for the 190 in Victoria. If nobody will know and nothing is going to happen over there, you might potentially get your visa sooner or later. If they will find out that you will in the breach of your declaration, they may advise Home Affairs that, hey, that person got the invitation based on the fact that they will be living in Victoria, but they never moved to Victoria. They are not living over here, and states are sending the sort of questions every couple of months to the people who supposed to be living over there, to advise them whether the person is living in that state or not, about the address, progress, and so on and so on. But probably they don't have enough people to do the compliance, and state cannot cancel your visa. They can tell Home Affairs, yeah, that person never moved to my state, cancel their visa. And Home Affairs, as they say, toothless tiger, I think. There is section 116 with general cancellation provisions, very, very, very weak provision that if you would have gotten the visa, skills assessment, invitation, whatever, based on the false and misleading information, your visa might be, cancelled. But that can happen probably only if you'll be overseas. Yeah, and it's very weak. I have heard only about one person who got the visa cancelled in a similar situation when they got invitation from one state. They never moved over there, and on the airport they got the visa cancelled. It's not that common that the visa is being cancelled. So bit fishy, but possible. Advice again, no advice over here, just the opinion. 190 invite for Western Australia City. Yeah, we discussed that. No advice here, just the opinion. So talk to your employer, and if you have 3 years of the work experience, then potentially you can apply for the ENS or 482, then 2 years on 482. If you have got plenty of time on your 485, I'm just assuming that you're on 485. Yeah, you can wait for another year or 2 years, whether you will get invited or not. Otherwise, Has just explained, I am on bridging visa for one night and it's showing no conditions for work on Vivo check. My query is, do I still need to follow the employment conditions that we usually have on COVID visa for the bridging visa? No work conditions. You can do whatever you want, wherever you want. No conditions on a BVA means you can essentially work anywhere. All right, but that's visa wise. About the contract with your employer, that's a different story. If you are full time permanent and if you want to ditch them, then fair work. You will have to have a look what are the requirements about leaving employer, staying with employer, whatever is in your contract. Have a look on that. With my partner, if my partner do the skills assessment written can be used to climb points. Retail manager is eligible, I think, for 491 only, not for 190. That's true. Login. Badabam. That's my username. Password. What is my password? Just give me a sec. Or 5. No, that's the wrong password. Retail manager general. Yep, retail manager is not eligible for 190, so you cannot can't get points for retail manager as this can get points for partner for retail manager as this occupation is not eligible for 190. So your partner's occupation must be on the same list of occupations. So if retail manager is not eligible for 190 end of story, you cannot climb the points. But at least you know English, you can climb points for English if there is 100 moderation alerts. Yeah, that's the thing. So simply speaking, no. Doesn't have any leads about 190 pre-invitation from SA Migration. Hasn't really got it yet. Really frustrated and depressed about the waiting. Once again, do not rely on the skilled visa only. It's never guaranteed. People are moving from one state to another because somebody has got the invitation. Tasmania was a few years ago the victim of its own popularity. They invited a couple of accountants, and they said that after half a year of studying in Tasmania, you will get invited. Then thousands of people moved over there. They had just a couple of hundred of invitations, and half a year later, they said, "Yeah, actually, you need to study for 12 months." Then another couple of thousand people moved over there. Tasmania have had 1 or 2 thousand invitations and a couple of thousand EOIs, and they said, "Yeah, actually, you have to study 12 months in something related to your occupation." Then they said, "Yeah, you must have at least some work experience or work in your occupation." So whatever is happening now, there is no guarantee that it's going to be happening in next couple of months, next couple of years. Of course, some people are quite lucky. They are taking the chance, moving from one state to another, trying to get the invitation based on the information which is available on the given time, and then they are thinking about after studying for 12 months or 2 years, I will get invited, and in 2 years the whole visa system will change, and it's again different. There is an employer sponsored visas. That's something which most of the time was working, and now it's going back to the good old times. 2 years on 482, and then ENS to the transition stream. His government probably is trying to push people to push, maybe not push, but to make sure. Yeah, yeah, listen, at the end of the day, it's about the local economy and the needs of the local employers. So, employer sponsored visa, no brainer. Employer must prove that they need somebody for the particular position. Employer must prove that they cannot find anybody on the local market. So, that's why they are sponsoring somebody from overseas. So employer-sponsored visas, hopefully it's going to be like that for the years to come. 482 2 years, then ENS to the transition stream, and hopefully for any occupation eligible for the 482, not just MRTSSL. But yeah, we'll see soon. Do not rely only and only on the skilled visa. It was working up until 2016 17, 60 65 points. It was almost guaranteed that you will get invited. Then New Zealanders jumped on the pathway for the New Zealanders who won 189, and they took the lion's share of the 189. So not so many people get invitations for 189 on the points based. Luckily, New Zealanders are no longer eligible for 189 because they can get the citizenship straight away after living in Australia for 4 years. So that will be given back to the points, to the points stream for 189. But yeah, here is the big question: if 189 will be still available, or it's going to be just about the state-nominated visas. When they will do the invitation round for 189, we don't know. The last one was, I think, in May. It's November, half a year later, and we know absolutely nothing. So probably next couple of months we will see if 189 will exist at all, or if it's going to be scrapped and it's going to be just 190 and 491, or maybe something else. I don't know. Or maybe you will have to have a couple of years of the work experience to be eligible for 189. We'll see. When? My crystal ball is foggy, sorry. When the next invitation round for Victoria is going to be, no info at all, so I'm looking for insider info. I think they're inviting every 2 or 4 weeks, so just wait. And again, do not rely on the invitation only. If you will have a look on the number of invitations which states are having, migration program levels, it's about the strategy. If you have got the 485 for another couple of years, yeah, not that bad. But if not, have a look on this. State and territory nomination: New South Wales 2.6, Queensland 900, Victoria 2.7. It's about 25% of what states have had in last financial year. So it's very, very, very low, right? So it's about the invitations which were allocated to the states. Northern Territory 250. Tasmania, just 600. The other day when I was participating in the webinar with the guy from the Zener and Broja, I don't remember his name, the guy who is running that show over there in New South Wales, he said that they have got any given time 60,000 EOIs, valid EOIs for the places they are having. So have a look, 60,000 and 2.6 thousand places for the particular financial years. The competition is fierce, so it all depends on your occupation. And Victoria, 2.7 thousand. They were focused on the nurses, doctors for last couple of years. Now probably extended to some other occupations. And for Victoria, what is very important is how much actually you earn. So it's not only about your occupation points level of English, but how much you earn, all right? And whether you're working full time, part time, whether you're working in your occupation or not. So, what they want to see that you are actually working in your nominated occupation on the skilled level. If you are being paid very low salary, very low wages, that's sort of the indication that you might or might not be working on the professional level. So the more you earn, the better indication for them that you are actually working on the skilled level. You are doing what you are saying that you are doing, and you will not run away to another state or another employer, God only knows where, who will give you, $5 more. So That's what they are looking at. But yeah, every 2 or 4 weeks, and all of those people who have got valid EOIs, ROIs in Victoria. Remember, it's not only about EOI, you also have to lodge the ROI, and the ROI in Victoria must be for IDA 491 or 190. You cannot choose both, all right? And also EOI must be, for Victoria only. If the EOI will be for each and every state, they are not interested. No state is interested in people who are just fishing. You must be telling them you are the best, you are the only one which I want to live in, and here is the EOY with only your state, not each and every. Sometimes it happens that if you will tick each and every state, especially if you are overseas, sometimes states are still inviting if the end of the financial year is coming and states are still having a couple of places. So hard to say. Don't approve of pre-invite from New South Wales. Will my be considered for next round of that seat? Their website says only one invite will be sent to one person. Uh, they are very sort of maybe not brutal, but quite firm. If you will get invited, and if you will not use that invitation, it's not pre-invitation but invitation. At this point of time, they are saying you will not be invited again. So essentially, pre-invitation and invitation. So what is the difference between pre-invitation and invitation? If they will send you, yeah, listen, we are considering you for invitation for the visa, but show us this, and that. You have got 2 weeks to provide the evidence. Then you will provide the evidence, and then they will say, yep, sweet, all good, looks good for us. Here is the invitation, and you will get an email from the skill select. Here is the invitation to lodge the visa application. You've got 60 days. Once they will invite you, they are saying we will not invite you anymore. Once done. Pre-invitation, they don't say anything about that. So if you will get pre-invited, if you will not lose if you will not, give them all of the evidence, and if they will not invite you, they are not losing that place. So essentially, with the state, if they will invite somebody, that place is being taken out of their quota. So that's why there is this process pre-invitation to make sure that people are having all of the relevant evidence that they actually can get the visa. Then you are providing evidence to the state government. If they're happy with the stuff, then you are inviting you for the visa. And if if they will invite you, that goes out of their quota given by the government. Pre-invitation, no, they are not losing that. So there might be a bit flexible. But if they will invite you once, and if you will not use that, maybe they will consider again. But what would be the reason why you wouldn't be using that pre-invitation? Because you would get it for 491 and you are fishing for 190. They're not that firm with the pre-invitation, but I would say that if you wouldn't be using that, they wouldn't be that keen to give you another one. All right. They are firm that if you be invited, they will not invite you again. They are silent about pre-invitation. Yeah, listen, pre-invitation is some sort of the informal statement, informal name for the whole process. But yeah, I think that's what we can use. So with 189 visa, you are just getting the invitation. Home Affairs does not give a flying. Actually, the skill selling is being managed by the Department of Education, not the Department of Home Affairs. But yeah, generally speaking, they are sending invitations for 189. If you will apply, happy days. If not, then that place probably goes back to their quota because they can. State, different story. States are being given the quota. If they will issue invitation, doesn't matter if the invitation is being used or not. They are losing that place. What's happening quite often at the end of the financial year? Home Affairs sometimes it's allocating additional places, probably based on the fact that the states may not, the invitations from the states may or may not have been used. What had happened in the past? People were applied for 189, not applied, have lodged the EYs for 189, 190s, and then somebody got invited for 190, and a few days later got invited for 189, or got a couple of different invitations because of a few different occupations for 190, 189, crazy. So applied for 189, did not apply for 190 because 189 seems to be more beneficial, and then states would have lost that invitations for 190, and then government decided, yeah, all right, so these many were sort of lost, so we are reallocating them back to the states. Whether it's gonna go back to the same state or to the other one, not sure. Why my post is getting declined? Okay, it does not seem it's getting declined because it's been posted. South Australia 90 visa granted. Age education PT, Australian education regional studies, single state nomination, total points 80 without the work experience. So South Australia, 6 months completed in the nominated job. Yeah, see, requirement then for South Australia. Then is very important. So it's November 22, so it's 12 months ago. So now the situation is different. South Australia have had more places that they are having now. So anytime when you are looking at the skilled visa requirements, make sure that you are fully familiar with the requirements from the particular state. They are updating the information on their websites, and the requirements are changing all over the year. And this New South Wales, I remember sometimes 3 times a year the requirements were changing. So whatever is over here that the person got the invitation, get invited based on something, does not mean that I'm engineering technologist half a year, work in South Australia, and I will get the invitation. Maybe have a look what are the current requirements. South Australia actually is getting quite a lot of places for the skilled visa. So in terms of states, people who are hunting for the skilled visa, they are quite good. Maybe not that many opportunities for the job because compared to New South Wales or Melbourne, Sydney, Adelaide is much smaller. But hey, it's considered regional. So 190, 491. 491 is good. Another 3 years on 491, and then you are applying for 191 permanent residency. And 191s are being granted within a couple of weeks, quite quick. It's not like 489 and 887, and over the last couple of years 887s weren't processed that quickly. All of these processes, and God only knows what. 191s are being processed quite quickly nowadays. So yeah, congratulations, well done. By Rebecca. No, you missed. Put your application yourself. If you know what you are doing, do it yourself by all means. If you don't know what you are doing, and this one is interesting. Wait, I was to get my 491, but since I was not granted 491, I started applying for 190 nomination. When I put my 190 application, we do 491 application. So yeah, we also have a client like that. 491s, we have applied for the 491s, then they got the invitation for 190 or 189 or 190. Not a problem, you can go. As long as you are still waiting for 491, you're on the bridging visa or some other substantial visa, you can apply for another permanent residency. Once you're on 491, a different story. You cannot apply for 190, 189, even if you would be invited. And there were the situations where people already got granted. I had a discussion with somebody, he got 491 granted one day and got invitation the next day. It's ridiculous from Home Affairs. They're inviting for one thing, and then when the person is not eligible, inviting for something else. It's simple checking their own systems. What is the story, and doing the simple Vivo check. They know that the person has got the particular visa, and inviting them for something they cannot apply. I don't get it. But well, it is as it is. So congratulations. Refund denied. Yeah, if you are asking for refund just because you are withdrawing, they won't give you the money. Congrats. Well done. Just want to kindly ask someone to tell me if I managed to submit you for Western Australia interstate based on my current situation. Based in Sydney, I've been working as full-time GIS data scientist. My question is on the Western Australia occupation list million of times. You can launch the UI, that does not hurt if you have got already the job offer, and if you move over there sooner or later, you can go for it. Western Australia is one of those states, if not only one, which is inviting people from the other states, but you have to have the full-time job offer. Okay, so potentially sometimes they are sending pre-invitation. Yeah, we would consider, but have you got the job offer? No. All right, next. So if you have got the job offer, you can potentially launch the UI, and if you will get the pre-invitation somehow, potentially you can tell them, "Yep, here's the job offer. Please give me the visa." Maybe not give me the visa, give me the invitation. So potentially yes. This was May 23. Polio vaccination. I'll have declaration to be signed for past tuberculosis. Skill ICT support engineer. Based on the series under section 56, you may. With tuberculosis, they are very, very, very serious, and have had a couple of clients with the TB not active, right? So they might have had something, or the X-ray was showing some scares on the line. So they are very, very particular. So they are sending for another tests and some declarations from the doctor, then some additional tests, not necessarily X-rays. Sometimes they probably put under the carpet, are waiting for a couple of months just to ask for another checks if it's still the same or it's developing. So TB, it's serious. If you are overseas, it could be making things more difficult, because then you will be having to go to the same doctor which is being appointed by the Home Affairs in that particular country. In Australia, you can go, to some local doctor, but yeah, overseas they are very, very picky when it comes to the TB, tuberculosis. So you might get another 56 after a couple of months. Sorry. Reply to a student visa cancellation notice. A friend of mine received a student visa cancellation notice. No, we replied with explanation. How long did DHA take to give us a reply? Yeah, we already had some discussion, but what was the reason for Nowak? Was that because the person did not study, just dumped the school because haven't had enough money to study and had to work? Listen, when you are applying for the student visa, there is the financial requirement. You must have finances to study. If you don't have finances to study, and then if you are then arguing that I haven't had money, I had to ditch my study and work. Student visa is to study, not to work. Work is the privilege, according to Home Affairs, or their understanding. It's the work rights, but it's privilege to supplement your just to get extra money, not to come to Austria to work, so you will earn the money and study. Of course, that the situation quite often is that people are coming to Australia, are studying. Of course, are studying because on the student visa you must study. If you will not be studying, then you are subject to the visa cancellations. And while you are studying in Australia, then you are working also in Australia, because you can work part time, and then you're using the money to pay for your school. It's nothing unusual, and it's working like that quite often. But when you're applying for the student visa, there is the requirement that you must have the funds. You must declare that you have got the funds, or you must show the funds. Depends on the country of origin, depends on the school, depends on the course, depends on the other dependencies. It's different. If you're coming to Australia on the student visa to work, that's not the intention. Okay, and keep in mind that Home Affairs is connected with the ATO and some other government organizations, and they are exchanging the data. So if you got the NOIC because you are not studying, and school cannot cancel your visa, right? So schools sometimes are saying, "I will cancel your visa if you will not pay." School cannot cancel your visa, but school can update the information in the prisons as the system where they have got access to about your non-attendance, about your they can withdraw your COE, all right? So if you don't have the COE, if you are not going to the school, you're in the breach of your visa condition, and then Home Affairs can send you NOIC that, according to the information we have gotten, you are not studying, so we are going to cancel your visa. Please tell us why we shouldn't. And then you are sending explanation. No, I don't have the money, so I had to drop the school. That's the best way to get your visa cancelled. So if that's the situation, get another COE. Probably getting another COE and going back to school may save your butt, right? If NOIC is based on the fact that you have been working more than you were allowed to, yeah, that's another story. There was the time when people were allowed to work full time. It's crazy. Studying full time and working full time. How could you do that? I don't know. But the government sort of allowed people. They didn't say that we are changing the condition of the visa that you can work full time. They said that if we will be in the breach of the visa condition, the case officer may not consider canceling your visa. Okay, they didn't say that the visa condition is being changed. So if some new case officer in some time from now will be willing to refuse or cancel your visa, just make sure that you will print that website, Home Affairs. There is the website where they are saying that case officer will use the discretion. I think that's the wording. Use the discretion not to cancel your visa if you were in the breach of your visa condition, but make sure that the timing was right. And over the last couple of years during COVID, there was the time that only people who were working in the, I think, some battling of COVID, hospitality, or the care, and then anybody. So make sure that the timing was right. And, that could be tricky. So here's the big question: what is the reason for the NOIC? Non-attendance or working too much? And I think the visa will expire in next 4 weeks. And here is the big question: what is the goal? Whether that person wants to stay in Australia for longer, wants to apply for something else. So potentially applying for something else if the visa will not get cancelled before the expiry and will get expired. If the visa will get expired, they cannot cancel something what is expired. So if your friend can apply for something else and want to stay longer in Australia, probably the best to discuss your situation. Best talk to professional. HTTPS nowak.us.me. We have got a couple of different types of consultations, free and paid. So book the consultation and we can take it further. Oh, there's 40 minutes already. Jeez, I wanted to make it 30 minutes max. Applicants for work visas are often required to demonstrate proficiency in the English language with exemptions for certain occupations and circumstances. For expert guidance on your visa application, schedule a consultation with one of our professionals at Nowak Migration. Yeah, I know this fella. He's quite smart. He knows the stuff. So if you want to talk to him or to somebody else from his brilliant team, nowak.us.me. And yeah, we are providing free for employer sponsored, free for the partner visa. Quick question: if you have lodged the application, got section 56, or have got really quick question, 15 minutes with migration agent about something, it's paid one. We have got the full comprehensive. We have got the face-to-face in Ipswich, Brisbane, Gold Coast, Noosa Head, Sunshine Coast. I'm flying to Sydney from time to time. Student visa. We are also assisting with enrollments. But yeah, he's a smart fella, so follow him. Follow Nowak Migration. Let's like the bastard. I don't know why you don't like it, you should love it. Anonymous participant. Hi, I have a question. Can you help me, please? Software engineering, I studied 1 year diploma, 1 year advanced diploma of project management. Can I climb 5 points? Yeah, potentially. I put the information from the legislation. 2 years of study, and then if it was registered course, yeah, 2 years, 16 calendar months, 2 academic years of study. It does not have to be relevant to the occupation, so very likely yes, but must have been studying on the visa, which would, allow to study and so on and so on. So it's not like I've been studying for 2 years, one diploma, another advanced diploma, can I get 5 points? There is a few other things which we might need to check, but yeah, essentially, very likely yes. Myths that people usually cite to you when you plan to come to Australia. You won't get a job without local experience. That's not true. With consistent approach, every job, every day, you are sure to land a job. I started trying for jobs from last week and got an offer by September second week while overseas. Yes, it's doable if you know what you are doing and if you speak English and. In Australia, they need people at the very moment, and we have got employers who are sponsoring, asking us if we have got any, people who could come and work for them, and they're willing to sponsor, and so on and so on. So if you know what you are doing, and if you are proficient in your occupation, and if you are, having sky skills, work experience, good English, chances are that you might actually get the invitation. Myself, I came to Australia almost 20 years ago on a student visa. And my wife at the time, her English wasn't that good. Mine wasn't that good either, better than her. But yeah, we decided we are moving to Australia. We moved on the student visa. I studied English for a moment. She studied English for a moment. We applied for the skilled visa, 136, I think that was the number at the time, skilled independent, as the telecommunications professional. Um, but yeah, the jobs at the very moment, I took the cleaning jobs, whatever, just to have some money and to do something. But after a couple of weeks, I got a job in one company. Then I progressed to the other company. They even said, "Yeah, you can sponsor you for the visa if you want." I said, "Nah, not necessarily. You know, I'm waiting for the skilled visa, and I have another agent." Crappy ass. I won't tell which one is that, but I can not recommend them for various reasons. But no recommendations, no nothing like that on this group, please. So yeah, they offered me the sponsorships right away. Okay, after a couple of weeks working for them. So sometimes get some visa, come to Australia, try to find a job, and you will find a job if you know what you are doing. Um, uh, what else? While overseas, yes, it's possible. People are getting find accommodation for the steps. Yeah, with accommodation, you can find accommodation. You have to be consistent, and essentially, if you have got money, you can find accommodation because they are asking you for the bank account whether you have got the money. If they will offer you the accommodation, if you don't have the money, and they will see that there is no way you can um, pay for the accommodation that they will never, give you. Sometimes you have to come to Australia for a couple of days, go with some hotel, motel, wherever, and then once you're here, go from one door to another, get something temporary, and then something more permanent. Here is so difficult to have time. It's getting harder and harder, but now they got probably to the breaking point, and now probably it's going to be easier. The project got invited last December, and then I saw all of these comments. You were so lucky that you got invited. For God's sake, so many people got invited. That was the big round of invitations. And if you would have had your EOI in the system at that time, you might have gotten invited as well. But this government sometimes is quite unpredictable. It used to be quite predictable until a couple of years ago. Now it became unpredictable, but hopefully it's going to be predictable again. It is, leave the rest to God. Jesus, God has got absolutely nothing. I'm totally against. I'm not against the religion, but for God's sake, keep religion to yourself. This group is not for the religion. It's not. It's not God who gave you the invitation. It's not God who did whatever. That's my opinion, right? It's your hard job. It's you who did all of this research. it's you who checked all of the information on relevant Facebook groups, pages, follow up with the advice from the person who knows the stuff. I don't think if God have had anything to do over here. So, with all of the respect, but I don't think if it was God who made it happen to you. So, what about all of these atheists who got invited? If it would be God, God would give all to all of those people who believe in Him. All of these atheists who don't believe in God wouldn't get invited. But well, that's the opinion. 191 invitations from different states. 190 is always my dream, but my question is that my work experience is not avoided by the United States. Should I only go for 190 or 491 hours if we eat no work experience point client? Suggestions, please. For me, no brainer. 190. Your work experience does not have to be assessed by the skills assessment authority. Case officer can, make their own determination. If the work experience is assessed by the skills assessment authority, that's a bonus because that's the clear indication for the case officer that, yep, your work experience is relevant to the occupation. But at the end of the day, you will also have to provide all of the evidence so case officer can check and get satisfied about the evidence about your work experience. But it's not mandatory to get your work experience assessed for the visa. For the states, sometimes it's different, especially with New South Wales and ICT occupation. They are very picky. Your work experience must be assessed by the skills assessment authority to get invited. What's the point arguing about the visa if you cannot get the invitation because the state is willing for your experience to be assessed? It's always better to get it assessed, but sometimes better not getting it assessed. Getting work experience assessed by skills assessment authority is not mandatory for climbing points from Home Affairs point of view. Whether to apply for 190 or for 91 for Minograde. I will go with 190. However, we have got some concerns whether you will be able to evidence your work experience which you have climbed, then and if money is not an issue, go for both. If you will get granted for 491, yep, happy days. Even if you're on 491 and your 190 is pending, you cannot apply for 190 while you are on 491. But if you have applied earlier and you are on 491, you will still be able to get 190. So your 190 will replace 491. All right. So if money is not an issue, you want to go with both. Go with both. You will get 491, then you are waiting for 190. 190 will replace 491. If you will apply for both, and if you will get 190 granted, then as soon as possible, straight away withdraw 491 because you don't want 491 to replace your 190. Okay. I was not informed by my agent that parents cannot accompany us, single parent alone, after applying for a visa. It informed us that my single mother can stay with me permanently. Lesser processing time. Is there any alternative for me to proceed further and not to cancel my visa? Please help. You have to sponsor your parent for the parent visa. First of all, you would have to become the permanent resident. So 491, you cannot sponsor parent for the parent visa on 491. So another 3-4 years to go before you will get 191, and then you can apply for the parent visa. But then there's gonna be another couple of years wait, depending on how old is your parent. If it's over the pension age in Australia, then yeah, potentially visitor visa, then aged contributory parent and bridging visa. Otherwise, just parent visa and contributory parent visa. There is no bridging visa. And agent did not tell you, or did you ask agent if your parent could be included? The parents could be included as the dependents up until 2016. So you are 7 years behind, and blaming agents for not asking them for, or if you have asked, yeah, you could blame the agent. If you didn't ask the agent, if you can include your parent in the application, if you have applied for the application and parent was not included, what do we expect from your agent? Being the mind reader? For God's sake. 2016. That was I think that was the last date when the parents could be included as the dependents in the visa applications. Now, sorry, but no, there are parents visas, temporary parent visa 870, but you must be the permanent resident. Uh, can your parents apply for the visa on their own? What about 482? Can your parent, actually parent, single parent? So no, parent cannot. Uh, yeah, honestly, remove comment. Be mindful, culture, people don't know. But honestly, if you wanted to include your parent, you should have asked the agent. If the agent applied for the visa without your parent included, and now you are complaining, temporary visa generally have specific periods of validity and conditions such as work restrictions. Yeah, 482, you can apply for up to 1, 2, 3, or 4 years, and it all depends for how many years SAF your employer will pay. Skilling Australians Fund. So it's the duration of your visa is linked to the nomination. If the employer will pay for 1 year SAF, you will get the visa for 1 year. If your visa is eligible for 4 years, MLT SSL, and if your employer will pay 4 years SAF, then your visa will be for 4 years. And as the primary applicant for the 482 visa, you can work only for your employer, no side gigs, no ABN, no absolutely nothing. And you can work only for the nominated occupation. If you've got the partner, he or she is, free to go. I like this bastard. Yeah, right. Yeah, listen, thank you very much. I think tomorrow, maybe, what is tomorrow? Saturday. So Monday. Maybe Monday we'll do another chat like that. So thank you very much. And yeah, if you want to talk to one of my wonderful agents or myself, go to nowak.ask.me and book the consultation, how or if we can assist. Thank you very much, and bye bye.